I now call to order the regular meeting of the Belvedere Planning Commission. The open forum is an opportunity for any citizen to briefly address the Planning Commission on any matter that does not appear on the agenda. Comments are limited to no more than 3 minutes. Matters that appear to warrant commission consideration may be agendized for further discussion at a later meeting. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak during the open forum? Or anyone on Zoom?
I see no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to reports. Are there any commissioners who wish to provide a report on any standing committees, or does staff have any reports to provide?
I have no reports. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to the consent calendar. The consent calendar consists of items that are considered to be non-controversial. Unless any item is specifically removed by any member of the council, staff, or public, the consent calendar will be adopted by one motion. Items removed will be considered in the sequence that they appear on the agenda. Would any members of the Planning Commission like to remove an item from the consent calendar? So I'm going to remove the first and only item. Sorry, no, not the minutes are fine, but 236 Bella Vista. So have you received any comments on this item?
No, but let's first take a motion on the minutes.
Okay,
Right, the other items on. the
I move
consent
that we
calendar.
approve the draft minutes.
can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Remind me, do I need to provide my comment and then open public comment?
Yeah, typically items on consent, we don't have a staff report
Yeah,
prepared.
okay.
But we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay,
And then we can open it to the public and carry on like a
okay, perfect.
public
Thank you.
hearing item.
Thank you. So my question, very minor, just has to do with the city standards, if any, for installation of guardrails on city property. I know the city, generally speaking, doesn't like fences on city property. So is there a point of view on guardrails that you're aware of?
Yeah, I've worked on one on Corinthian Island, and typically if it's a guardrail that's needed, sometimes dictated by the city engineer, the city is all for safety, and if a guardrail is required,
Okay.
we're okay with it.
Okay, it brings me to my next question, which is what makes this a guardrail as opposed to a fence? Because it looks like a fence.
I think the applicant can answer that
Yeah,
question.
please.
And I'm
Would you
not sure if it
mind-
was.
Would you mind just coming up here? Thank you. And you might need to press the mic on. I think it's the little one, yeah.
So my name is
Yeah.
Azala Jami, I'm the owner. And it is 42-inch tall, which is a guardrail rather than a fence would be taller. And also there is a drop, like maybe more than 3 feet, more than, I don't know exactly how tall it is, but it's a drop. Basically, it's a safety. You need to have a guardrail so that people don't fall down from there.
Okay. So it's the height of the guardrail is what
I
you're
guess-
saying is
I
what makes
guess
it a guardrail.
Also, the guardrail is where it prevents you from a fall, which is required by code to have, versus a fence is just separating two areas
Right.
that might or might not act as a fence, as a guardrail as well. But this one is to prevent from the fall.
Okay, that was kind of the question I was trying to get answered. I think where you have it fronting the street here, it should be an engineered structure, not just a fence. It should be something that is designed, I think, for safety. And possibly even to keep a car from going off. And I don't know, I'm assuming the building department would be looking at this, to your point, Rebecca, to make sure it's like structurally engineered versus like a decorative fence. Right? Because there's visually marking it, but then there's like functionally.
The building code can also just require a guardrail for, I think it's a 3-foot drop on the other side. So I'm sorry, a railing versus a guardrail. You know, when we think of a guardrail, we think of one of the sort of Caltrans engineered.
Right, or even
Rails,
stone. I've
but-
seen a lot of stone, like 18
Mhm.
inches, and then you've got a,
Yeah.
a metal fence sitting on
So
top.
this, I've been up there. I think the building code
It's one
would
floor.
require a rail there.
Yeah, okay.
If you want, I can
Yeah.
just
know,
add a little
yeah.
clarity to this. I think the applicant stated it correctly, but maybe not in detail. But if it's more than a 30-inch drop by measurement, the code will require a guardrail. The guardrail needs to be 42 inches high. It doesn't actually need to be engineered for vehicle impact, but there is a requirement in the code. I think it's 200 pounds per square foot lateral that it would have to be engineered to. I would defer to the building department, but guardrails they're a pretty specific thing in the building code. So if the applicant is proposing to meet the code, that's probably the right thing to do here.
Thank you. Thank you. That was it. Thanks. Okay, that was my question. If there are no other questions, then, all right, do I need to open public comment? Okay, we'll open public comment. Is there anyone here who would like to comment on the project? Is there anyone on Zoom?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Can I please get a motion for 236 Bella Vista?
Should we take all the motions separately?
Yes, please.
So I'll move that we adopt the resolution granting design review for the property located at 236 Bella Vista.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move that we adopt a resolution granting exception to total floor area to allow 5,644 square feet where 3,968 square feet is permitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we recommend that the city council approve a revocable license for existing private improvements located in the public right of way at 236 Bella Vista.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. Organize here. Okay, so I would like to open the public hearing for 36 Bayview and ask for a staff report. After the staff presents the report, the commission will have an opportunity to ask staff any questions pertaining to the project or the staff report. And we'll hold any comments until later in the meeting after public comment.
Thank you, Chair Johnson and members of the Planning Commission. For your consideration this evening is an application for design review to install a new therapy pool at 36 Bayview Avenue. The subject property is on an 8,159 square foot lot in the R15 zoning district. The site slopes east towards Belvedere Lagoon. The rear yard includes a lawn area and outdoor spa. The project proposes to construct an in-ground therapy pool in the rear yard. The pool would be 10 feet wide by 15 feet long and set back 9 feet 6 inches from the left side property line and 24 feet from the rear yard property line. Shaded here in blue, the site has an existing spa currently recessed below the lawn. The project proposes to replace the spa and place new pool equipment in the same location. The pool equipment would be contained entirely below the lawn surface and is stated to have a sound rating of 45 decibels, which complies with the city's general plan noise element requiring mechanical equipment not to exceed 55 decibels at the property line. Here, a site photograph shows the approximate location of the pool and also the recessed spot. Existing hedges on the right side yard help screen, I'm sorry, the left side yard helps screen the new pool. And an existing hedge behind the spa will remain. Staff has received 2 letters regarding the project. One was in support from 40 Bayview Avenue, and then one was objecting to the project, and the address of that objection was not really revealed. The project would be exempt from CEQA. And as a conclusion, staff recommends the planning commission adopt the resolution granting design review to install a new therapy pool at 36 Bayview Avenue. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have questions for staff?
I just have one question. I may have missed it in my packet or on email, but what was the objection of the letter that expressed the objection? I have it here. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
I think I had my questions answered earlier. So seeing no other questions, I'd like to invite the applicant up to speak about their project.
Have to.
Hello, I'm Brian Henry. I'm the contractor who's been helping the actors put this project together for the last year. And the project was really designed around a need of their child who's got cerebral palsy and seriously needs a hot water therapy pool for his own health and survival. I want to let Mr. Acker describe the need, and if you have any questions, just shoot them at us.
Yeah, so my son was born with cerebral palsy, and one of the parts of the condition is you can get very tight. If you've ever seen people with a condition, your muscles are always flexing. Water is a great therapy for them. Our house previously had a full-size pool. We filled it in 20 years ago. This is literally just like a larger hot tub, so we can walk in it and kind of get that freedom of movement. It's not a pool, let's say. You've seen the dimensions, but it's literally, I would think of it more as a hot tub where he can walk back and forth and just get that freedom of movement. It's tough for he used to have a walker. He can't really walk anymore as you get bigger and you get more weight. It's just too taxing. So I don't know the nature of the objections. There's only one child in my house that has cerebral palsy. If it is noise, there's noise all over the neighborhood. There's times when I feel like the noise is coming from my backyard and it reflects down on my hill. I don't think it'll add to any noise in the neighborhood. It's literally the same thing of what we have, which is a hot tub that either needs to be replaced or something that's more functional that you can actually get up to here and actually stand, because he can't stand. But he can if somebody's in there with him. He gets a little bit, water gives you freedom of movement. So that's the whole purpose of the project. And so I don't know if there's any questions, but that's all I can really say about it, other than what the details you have in the specs. Any construction design questions he can address. But the intent, the purpose, or anything like that, I can address.
Great, thank you. Do any commissioners have questions for the applicant to help clarify the project?
process for, yeah. I guess one is easy to keep going, what you need for access. I think so. There's two options. One is just manual, like where we just help them in and out. We do that out of a bathtub now. The water at the TPC is very cold in the pools, but I usually just lift him in and out. As he gets bigger, he's a sophomore in high school, so he'll probably get a little bit bigger. There is a portable thing, a portable lift that he can address that is something that's not an eyesore, wouldn't be visible to anybody else, but it would help him be able to help himself get in and out if he wanted, if he chose to.
We did find a piece of hardware. I believe we submitted with the building department application. A sectional view on that. It's a portable unit, and it comes in several options, one of which John Paul could actually operate the lift himself. I know in talking to Sammy and people in the building department, there was a concern about having a permanent elevated structure above grade. This unit is a portable structure that can be pushed out of off the side. It just is something that sits securely, kind of like it doesn't stand very tall. I believe the standing height is about 5 to 6 feet with the lift and the chair that lowers the person into the water and then can lift them out. So that's the access. There's going to be a handrail. We submitted on the drawings a cut of the handrail is just a low profile handrail that could be held coming in and out the stairs, although I don't think John Paul can actually step without assistance. And I know the concerns about noise and other issues regarding the pool equipment. Newer pool equipment by its very nature, because of the energy demands on the pumps anymore, are very quiet. And there's an additional benefit to where, yeah, that's a copy of the unit right there. The equipment's designed to sit into the existing portable spa well. So it's going to be below grade. It's not good. I doubt standing from me to you, you'd even know it was running. You would not be able to hear it. It's just not audible. Yeah. Were there any other questions?
I have a question for you. Could you just clarify the placement of the lighting?
I'm having trouble.
Sorry, can
The
you
placement of the
clarify the
lighting?
placement of the lighting in the pool?
Well, I think, I have to double check. We started this project a year ago. I think we just have one light located in down below the tent. No, we have two lights. They face away from the house. They're LED lights. And they radiate away from the house. Those are LED with, I think, a total of about 1,500 lumens combined. So they're not putting out a lot of light. I know that the interior nature of the pool is going to be a darker plaster finish, so it's going to absorb a fair amount of that light. I don't know where or how any neighbor where this is located could see any of that illumination in that pool. If you can see the property, there's hedging on the side adjacent to the unit, and the other property has hedging on the opposite side and below them. Well, that property so far below them, I wouldn't be able to see illumination. And the house itself blocks any illumination from the street or other properties. I don't know how you could visually see this location from an adjacent property.
Yeah, okay.
And I know the planner's been out there. I think several of you members might have gone out to the property, looked at it. I think it's pretty concealed and from the neighboring properties.
Would these be on a timer, the lights? They
on and on and
are-
on. This unit is designed to be under an automatic safety cover. So there is no illumination visible when this cover's on the pool, which will probably be most of the non-use time because this spa needs to be maintained at a high enough temperature that John
Okay.
Paul can get in and out of it. So it's probably going to have the automated cover on it most of the time. If you're familiar with pools, you don't see any light when they're covered, no illumination at all. So, yeah. And I don't know, I haven't discussed their use on the unit. I would guess that probably most of the use is going to occur during daylight hours when he can safely get in and out of the pool. I doubt this is going to be a nighttime use function very often.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank
I think it would be very difficult if you've been out to the house for somebody to actually look down and see in. Except for our neighbors over at 40 Bayview, they could kind of on one corner, maybe look down. But they can see the backyard. If we illuminate, turn all the backyard lights on, they can see that. I don't think 40 would have an objection to it. And they know John Paul well, but yeah, it's just basically though, just to be clear, like, it's really just a larger hot tub than what we have, just so we can get freedom of movement.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you. So now we will open the public comment. If there are any comments from members of the public, please come to the front. No one anyone on Zoom?
There are no hands
Okay,
raised on
all
Zoom.
right, thank you. Okay, so we will close public comment and I will bring it back to the commission for discussion. Alex, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Thanks, Ashley. This seems like a very reasonable proposal. I actually have neighbors, most of my neighbors have hot tubs in some form, hot tubs and pools. I don't have any audio experiences, no noise overflow from those. So I'm comfortable that, your proposal is not going to be a nuisance to the neighborhood. And so I'm in support and I'll be able to make the findings in favor of this.
Thank you. Don?
Yeah, I too will be able to make the findings. It seems to me the only neighbors that would that might be arguably impacted a little bit would be the ones to the, I guess would be the northwest, which I guess would be 32. Given that their main room kind of looks over the privet into your backyard. Of course, there's no right not to see a swimming pool that someone puts in. So it seems to me if those owners, if they haven't checked in and said anything one way or another, and even if they did, it seems like, okay, so you would grow the hedge up another foot. It wouldn't be that big a deal to block out their main room. If 32 doesn't have an issue, there's no reason I should, so I can make the findings.
Thank you. Justin?
Thank you for the proposal and for coming tonight to present the information. I echo my fellow commissioners and I can make the findings.
Thank you. So I visited the site and reviewed the plans and I am in agreement with my fellow commissioners. I think this is a very reasonable project and it will be just a really good addition. So I can make the findings. Can I please have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution granting design review to install a therapy pool at 36 Bayview Avenue.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Okay, I now adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Is that our shortest meeting ever, maybe?